fluorescent lights of the deserted office building hummed a low, unsettling tune, a constant reminder that I was alone, always alone. For the past 15 years, I've been a night shift security guard. Most people imagine the job as boring, uneventful. They're wrong. In the quiet hours between midnight and dawn, when the world sleeps, the veil between what's real and what's else thins, and I've seen things that have chipped away at my sanity one terrifying night at a time. This isn't just a job, it's my life, and these are 3 of the stories that shaped it. Story 1. The Echoing Footsteps. It was a Tuesday night, late autumn, and the wind outside was rattling the windows of the old Peterson building. This place was a relic, a sprawling structure of dark wood panels and endless corridors, mostly empty now, awaiting demolition. My job was to make sure no urban explorers or vandals got in before the wrecking ball did its work. The first few hours were standard, checking doors, monitoring cameras, the usual monotonous routine. Around 2 a.m., I was in the West Wing, a part of the building that had been completely cleared out. Echoes were a common occurrence here. Every step I took seemed to reverberate 3 times over, but then I heard it. Somewhere. It wasn't my footsteps. My pace was slow, deliberate. These were faster, heavier, coming from further down the corridor. I stopped dead, my heart a frantic drum against my ribs. The sound stopped with me. I held my breath, straining my ears, the only sound the frantic thumping in my chest. Somewhere. It started again, closer this time, moving with an unnatural speed. It sounded like someone running, but there was no sense of urgency, no panicked breathing, just the relentless, rhythmic thud. My hand instinctively went to my radio, but I knew calling dispatch would be useless. What would I say? There are phantom footsteps running towards me. I slowly backed away, my eyes fixed on the bend in the corridor where the sounds were coming from. The lights here were dim, casting long, dancing shadows that seemed to twist and writhe with my rising fear. The footsteps grew louder, faster, now accompanied by a faint, almost imperceptible dragging sound. Thump, drag. Thump, drag. It was right around the corner now. My breath hitched in my throat. I could almost feel the presence, a cold dread seeping into my bones. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but a morbid fascination, a perverse need to know what was making that sound, kept me rooted to the spot. Then, just as the sound was about to round the corner, it stopped. Instantly, the silence that followed was even more terrifying than the noise. It wasn't just the absence of sound, it was a heavy, suffocating silence, as if the air itself had been sucked out of the corridor. I stood there for what felt like an eternity, my flashlight beam cutting a trembling arc through the darkness. Nothing, no movement, no sound, just the oppressive weight of an unseen presence. Slowly, cautiously, I edged my way towards the corner. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would burst through my chest. I peered around the bend. The corridor stretched out, empty, completely, utterly empty. I swept my flashlight beam across the floor, looking for anything, a dropped item, a scuff mark, anything to explain what I'd heard. Nothing. I spent the rest of that night jumpy, constantly looking over my shoulder. I never heard the footsteps again in the Peterson building, but the memory, the chilling sensation of something unseen running towards me, stayed with me. It was the first crack in my armor, the first realization that some things defy logical explanation. Story 2. The Janitor's Closet. This happened in the old corporate tower, a glass and steel behemoth that loomed over the city like a silent sentry. My post was on the 14th floor, and my routine included a check of every room, every closet, every nook and cranny. One night, a persistent, almost imperceptible smell caught my attention. It was faint, like old dust, and something sickly sweet, emanating from the janitor's closet. Now janitors' closets are usually just that, closets full of mops, buckets, and cleaning supplies, nothing out of the ordinary. But this smell, it was different. It gnawed at me, a subtle unease that grew with each passing hour. Around 3:30 a.m., I decided to investigate. The door to the closet was slightly ajar, which was odd. I always made sure to lock them. I pushed it open further, flicking on my flashlight. The beam cut through the dimness, illuminating the usual array of cleaning supplies. But the smell intensified, now mingled with a faint, metallic tang. Then I saw it. On the floor, nestled amongst some old rags, was a child's toy. A small wooden train, painted in bright primary colors, now faded and chipped. It looked incredibly out of place. There were no children allowed in the building after hours, and certainly not on the 14th floor. I picked it up. It was surprisingly heavy, worn smooth by countless little hands. As I held it, a chilling sensation washed over me, a profound sadness that wasn't my own. It felt ancient, imbued with a deep sorrow. I placed the train back down, feeling a sudden urge to get out of that closet. As I turned to leave, I heard a whisper.
"Don't go."
It was soft, barely audible, right next to my ear. I froze, every hair on my body standing on end. I spun around, flashlight beam sweeping frantically through the small space. Nothing, just the dusty shelves and the inanimate cleaning supplies. "Please," the whisper came again, a little clearer this time, tinged with a child's mournful plea. My heart hammered. This wasn't my imagination. This wasn't the wind. This was something else. I stumbled out of the closet, slamming the door shut and fumbling with the lock. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely get the key in. I didn't open that closet again for the rest of my shift. The next morning, when the day crew came in, I mentioned the toy. They looked at me strangely. The janitor, an old man named Frank who had worked in the building for 30 years, told me a chilling story. Years ago, before the corporate tower was built, there was an orphanage on that very spot. A fire had broken out, and several children had perished, trapped inside. One of them, a little boy named Thomas, was particularly fond of wooden trains. His body was found in what would have been the equivalent of the janitor's closet on the 14th floor. I never looked at that closet the same way again. Every night as I passed it, I would feel that same cold dread, that faint, sweet, metallic smell. Sometimes I swear I could still hear a faint whisper, a lonely child's plea in the silent hours of the night. It taught me that sometimes the past isn't just history, it's a lingering presence. A restless echo in the places where it once lived. Story 3. The Man in the Office. This is the one that truly broke me. It happened in the new state-of-the-art tech company building, all sleek lines and glass, ironically designed to inspire innovation and forward thinking. But even in a place so modern, something ancient and malevolent found its way in. My patrol included checking all the executive offices on the top floor. These were particularly isolated, luxurious spaces with floor-to-ceiling windows offering a panoramic view of the city lights. One night, around 4 a.m., as I was doing my rounds, I saw it. In the CEO's office, a figure was sitting at the desk. My blood ran cold. No one was supposed to be in the building, especially not in the CEO's office at 4 a.m. I immediately radioed dispatch, my voice tight with urgency. "Dispatch, I have an intruder on the top floor, CEO's office." "Copy that, Alex. Police en route. Do not engage." I gripped my flashlight, my knuckles white. I could see the figure clearly now, silhouetted against the city lights. It was a man, sitting perfectly still, his back to me. He wasn't moving, just sitting. His posture was unnaturally rigid. I approached cautiously, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. The door to the CEO's office was slightly ajar. I pushed it open slowly, my flashlight beam cutting through the dimness. "Sir, you're not supposed to be here," I said, trying to keep my voice steady, but it came out as a strained whisper. The figure didn't move, didn't even flinch. I took another step into the office. "I've called the police. I advise you to cooperate." Still nothing. The silence was absolute, save for the frantic pounding of my own blood in my ears. As I moved closer, I started to notice something strange. The air in the office was intensely cold, a biting chill that made my breath visible, and there was a faint, sickly sweet smell, reminiscent of decaying flowers. I raised my flashlight, aiming it at the back of the figure's head. The beam hit, and that's when I saw it. or rather, what I didn't see. There was no head. Just a dark, misshapen lump where a head should be, covered in what looked like matted, coarse hair. The figure was wearing a suit, but the fabric seemed to ripple and shift in the dim light, almost like it was made of shadow itself. And the hands resting on the desky, they were long, spindly, with claws instead of fingernails. My mind reeled. This wasn't an intruder, this wasn't human. As I stood there, frozen in terror, the figure slowly, agonizingly slowly, began to turn. The movement was jerky, unnatural, like a broken puppet. I could feel my blood turning to ice in my veins. My scream caught in my throat, a choked gasp of pure terror. It turned fully. Where its face should have been was a gaping, cavernous blackness like a void. No eyes, no nose, no mouth, just an empty, terrifying chasm that seemed to swallow the light. And from that void, a sound emanated. Not a voice, not a whisper, but a deep, guttural moan that seemed to vibrate through the very floor, shaking me to my core. I dropped my flashlight, the beam rolling across the floor, casting grotesque shadows that danced around the office. I scrambled backwards, tripping over my own feet, my mind screaming for me to run. I remember the sensation of that intense cold, that sickening sweet smell, and the image of that faceless void seared into my brain. I don't remember getting out of the office. I don't remember running down the stairs. The next thing I knew, I was outside, gasping for breath, the sirens of the approaching police cars wailing in the distance. They found me huddled against the building, shaking uncontrollably, barely able to string a coherent sentence together. They searched the building, of course, found nothing. No sign of an intruder, no forced entry, no explanation for what I saw. They blamed it on stress, fatigue, a vivid hallucination. But I knew what I saw. I still worked the night shift, it's all I know. But a part of me died in that office that night. The easy dismissal of the strange, the comfortable belief in the rational. Now every shadow holds a potential horror, every creak of the building is a premonition. I see it in the eyes of new recruits, that same naive wonder I once had. I don't tell them these stories. They wouldn't believe me anyway, but they'll learn, just like I did, that some buildings hold more than just secrets. Some hold echoes of pure, unadulterated terror, waiting for the cover of night to reveal themselves. And I, the night shift security guard, am forever bound to witness them.